Willie, I'm excited for you to give this talk because it's something that I have dabbled in a little bit, but learning how to use branding.yaml, how to do some branding here. Thank you for sharing your screen. Kick us off here in this Lightning Talk session by telling us about brand.yaml.
Okay, so the grant is from the Centers for Disease Control, CFA, Prevention, Center for Forecasting and Outbreak Analysis, and it was sort of this umbrella grant that said we need to give the research enterprises the ability to push expertise into the local public health, the public health services. And so we were talking to them and what their problems were, DHHS and some of the other folks. And what came up was there's all of this friction at the beginning of a Shiny application or at the beginning of a QMD report about getting it set up and starting and having it look the same every time and all this stuff. And so we looked around and we decided that what we ought to do was build an R package that would manage that those startup costs a little bit and try to facilitate and streamline the beginning of the thing. So what we landed on was our branding. This is our R branding package. You'll find it on GitHub, and you can also install it from CRAN or from our universe. And what it's going to do is give you a starting point for Shiny application or a website or a report that is automatically ADA compliant off the top, and then that uses a standard brand.yaml. So brand.yaml is a standard from POSIT, I think. Is that right? That
It is right, yes.
That is trying to single source the branding information for a given enterprise. So you have CSS files for your website, and you have a big PDF document that says what all the colors are for your print publications. You've got all this stuff. Brand.yaml is supposed to bring it all under one roof. I can show you what a brand.yaml file looks like. There's not much to it, but it captures all of the colors, all of the typography, all of the, it can have specific values for different output types, Quarto, Shiny, website. And then as we got working along with the thing, we realized there's a significant need for our sort of client agencies to be able to streamline with templates. And so at this point, we have a set of templates that are just starter applications. We've got a regular website one and some just our plot making ones, and several Shiny applications, and then just regular Markdown for reports and stuff. And the idea is probably just jump right into the workflow. Does that make sense? Let's say brand init. What this does is it creates a config file here in my project. All of these functions are configurable, so you can pass. You don't have to have it dump right into the root of your project. You can have it go wherever you're else. I'm just using the default configs. So this is the source where it's supposed to be the canonical R branding YAML file, the canonical brand.yaml file for a given enterprise. And what I do in my project, I'm going to say get brand public. It does work with private GitHub repos. Thanks to Andrew Pulsifer for that code, actually. And look what it tells me, that my local file is diverged from the file that's specified in the config, and so it wants me to overwrite it. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now I have the brand.yaml file from this GitHub repo plugged in at the very beginning of my project, and I can look at it and I can say, okay, what are the keys that are in this file and how do I need to conform? And then I can look through the templates that we list, and I can say, I need this. Maybe this is the closest to what I'm trying to start, right? And so I look here and I say, oh, look, get template shiny underscore complex. And then that's how I run it. I'm just going to copy these to the clipboard. Just going to paste them in here. And so what's happened is now it's copied the entire template file. Oh, that's fun. Look at that. That's not what I wanted. That's what I get for hacking right up until the moment of the thing, right? Of course, that's what I always say. So here I have a starter Shiny app with an error on it that if I've got a team or if I'm just trying to get started on something new, I can say, hey, use this template, get it started. It'll share all one brand.yaml file, and that makes it so that all of our fonts are the same, all of our colors are the same. All of that stuff that has historically been so much friction for them at the beginning of a project is now, I know, Andrew, that seriously. Let's see, I'll bet I got another one I can use. One of the other features that we've got in here that's kind of cool is if I say get template, it'll tell me the templates that it sees that it can use. So I wonder if this one will work. It copies those files in. And then I'm going to say this. And so all the colors in this plot, and including that icon that's up in the upper right-hand corner, are things that are derived directly out of the brand.yaml file. So they're consistent and they can be applied across projects with somewhat more ease.
That's super cool, Willie. Whoops. And that's your 7 minutes. Perfect.
That's my
Perfect.
7. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I'll just pause a moment if anyone wants to type a question here. When do you reach for the R package and when do you go straight to like passing around the YAML and whatnot?
Well, so this is kind of the problem that they've had at our local public health organizations. Like, I've got the YAML, I've got the CSS files, but how do I know they're out of date? Someone has updated the style guide, but I still have the old files. There's no way to manage that. So
Right. Okay.
the thinking of the workflow here is that you would do this at the start.
Yes.
And then periodically you might get an email from some brand manager that says, I've updated the colors. And you would come in here and you would say, get template or get brand public. And it's going to tell you if you've got the latest version.
Okay. Yes. No, I see.
Right? Does that make
That's a
sense?
very clear, like when you want this. Yes. Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you, Willie.
Yeah.